There is one very specific thing or trick that you could start to do right now that has the potential to add £150,000 onto the value of your pension in the future. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what that basically looks like and how this is possible because of one very specific part to the autumn statement from November 2023. I'm going to walk you through the numbers, show you how it works, and by the end of it, you're going to be the judge as to whether you think this is too good to be true or not. But first, this is the very specific part of the autumn statement that I'm referring to that has made all of this possible.
If we want people to get up early in the morning, if we want them to work nights, if we want an economy where people go the extra mile and work hard, then we need to recognise that their hard work benefits us all. So today, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to cut the main 12% rate of employee national insurance. If I cut it by 1 percentage point to 11%, that would be an extra £225 in the pockets of the average worker every year. But instead, I'm going to go further and cut the main rate of employee national insurance by 2 percentage points from 12% to 10%.
This reduction to the national insurance contribution levels for employees down from 12% to 10% came into force on the 6th of January this year. And according to government numbers, is going to mean that 27 million of us are going to have some extra cash in our pockets on a monthly basis. Now, this means that if you are over the age of 16 and you earn more than £242 per week, this is going to directly benefit you. But how does this then translate into your pension and boosting your pension pot for the future? So the average wage in the UK, according to the Treasury, is currently £35,400 per annum. And that means that if you are earning the average wage, this 2% reduction in national insurance contributions for employees will mean that you see an additional £450 extra in your pocket this year. Now, it goes without saying, if you are a high earner or you earn more, then obviously you're going to have more in your pocket. And if you are a high earner, you can expect to see around about £754 extra in your pocket. Now, let's be completely real. We're in the midst of a cold snap right now. And I've just had an email saying that my direct debit for my energy usage needs to go up to £252 per month. And I believe that there will be many people who have, through the cost of living crisis, had to manage their money more tightly than they have previously. And if you are earning the average wage, and this means an extra £450 for you, it is very, very possible that you need to use that money to make sure that you're able to make ends meet and be able to balance your own books. However, if you're able to perhaps be a little bit more pragmatic, sacrifice a little bit, this is where contributions into your pension could really, really help. And I'm going to walk you through the numbers right now.
Hey, so I'm editing down the video right now, and in this next section going through the numbers, I just realized for one of the age categories, I've said the wrong age group. So when you hear 44, I actually mean 45. It's only a year, but we need to be precise with this kind of stuff. You'll see that in the examples. Just thought I'd give you the heads up. Let's continue.
Right, so I'm going to go through the numbers with you, and I'm hoping that this is going to give you some food for thought to help you decide whether or not this is something that would actually work for you based on your circumstances right now. And I think the important thing is to do this based on your circumstances right now. Now, I'm going to use a number of assumptions. I'm going to assume that you're a basic rate taxpayer. I'm going to assume that you're on the average national wage. And I'm also going to assume a 10% return on the markets for the money that you put into this pension. Most of you on the channel are between the ages of 25 and 44. That's the main demographic of this channel. So I'm also going to assume if you did this from the age of 25, 35 and 44, up to the age of 55, because that's when you can currently access your pension in the UK as of recording this video. So let's jump into it. If you're on the national average wage right now, and you're a basic rate taxpayer, the monthly increase you're going to see in your pay packet per month will be £62.83. £62.83. And we're also assuming here that you can afford to put all of the money into a pension. So you don't need it to cover cost of living. You're just going to take that money, put it into your pension as a top up. Now, the tax relief, because with pensions you get tax relief, that's the government's carrot to encourage you to invest into a pension and look after your own future retirement needs, requirements, is about 20-25%, right? But essentially, if you decide to put all of the £62.83 into your pension, then the government will top it up so that the total amount that will go in will be £78.53. Now, we're assuming you don't increase that amount until you're 55. It's literally just plain sailing, and again, a 10% return on average on the market. And again, I'm mirroring the S&P 500 here. Well, this is what that number looks like. Now, let's just assume that you did this to the age of 65, because maybe that's when state pension comes around. The number is vastly different. This is what the number is. Now let's jump and have a look at this if you were age 35 and again going to 55, and I will throw in the 65 equation for you as well. So again, the contribution is going to be £78.53 per month. Doing it from 35 to 55 gives you 20 years. Well, it means that you're going to have an additional £56,447.46 potentially in your pension. If you did this up to age 65, then it's £162,117.33, which is the same as what you would have got if you're 25 doing it for the 30-year term. Let's have a look at it from the age of 44. So from the age of 44, you've only got 10 years to 55. It means that you're going to have an additional £15,707.15. If you did it for 20 years, well, it's the same as what it would have been if you were doing this at age 35. £56,447.46. Now, I think it is really worthwhile just noting quickly, and the eagle-eyed of you would have noticed this is just your additional contributions from this bump in your pay that you're getting because of the reduction to the national insurance contributions for employees. This doesn't take into consideration your existing contributions into your pension. Now, we know that as a nation, we are not saving anywhere near as much into our pensions to provide ourselves with a decent retirement. We're just not saving enough. And yes, the state pension is there, but there is a huge question mark as to whether or not the state pension is going to be available 12, 20, 30 years from now because of the fact that we are in a state as a nation. So this is just what the top-ups could do, assuming you don't need the extra money from this national contribution reduction and you put it all into your pension. So before ending this video, I wanted to give you maybe just 4 things to think about that I hope will help you gain some perspective and help you decide on what you would do and how to approach this. And the first thing is, you have to run a budget. You kind of have to look at your finances, see if you are able to put all of this money into your pension, and if not, how much. And that leads me on to the second thing. Every little helps. I know this is a Tesco's phrase, but it's a pretty good one, and it's true. Every little helps. It may be the case that you can only afford £10 to go into this, right? But £10 is a lot when you compound it over the matter of time and you then throw in investment returns. And again, I would encourage you, go and have a look at a compound interest calculator just to see what those numbers look like. One thing that we're very, very poor at as human beings is forecasting into the future, trying to get an understanding of what things are worth in the future. And a compound interest calculator will help you kind of put meat to the bone, to really help you understand what an extra £10, £15, £20, £30, I don't know, £40 a month might mean for you and your pensions. You can play around with the average returns on the markets, you can play around with all sorts of stuff. But remember, every little helps. Go and use that compound interest calculator. That was going to be my third one, which kind of fed into the second point that I made there, because again, it is about building that picture for you. And finally, number 4, just remember that this is an investment into the future. Small amounts add up over time. Small things amount to huge things in the future. I'll leave you with an anecdote, a story of my own, right? When I first started in financial services, one of the very first companies that I worked with was NatWest. And back then they had a final salary pension. And if you know what a final salary pension is, they are amazing. They're gold dust, they don't exist anymore. We all got opted into this new defined contribution system. They had a final salary pension at NatWest. And when I joined, they gave me two choices. They said, we can either pay it into a pension or we can give you the money. And because I didn't know what pensions were at the time and nobody really explained it, what did I do? I took the money. Now, it might have only been 30, 40 pounds a month, but I took that money as beer money, went out with my mates and had a great time. I only found out about 8 years ago that that pension was a final salary pension, and I don't have any benefit. There was $0, zero money contributed into that pension, which meant that I've missed a huge opportunity. I don't want that to happen to you. You're not gonna have a final salary pension, but the contributions of 10, 15, 20 pounds, whatever it is that you can afford per month, will make a huge difference. So again, running a budget, remember every little helps. Use a compound interest calculator will hopefully paint that picture for you. But let me know what you think. I'm sure you have thoughts. We're not going to debate whether or not the Tories did this to win the election, it's a bribe. I think we all know what was going on there. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already smashed the like button, please do so. And if you haven't already subscribed, consider doing that as well. I'll catch you next time.